Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another show of Sisko and Mike. This is Sisko.
And this is Mike.
And today we have a special guest. Some of you may have heard him on the Spanish and English radios. He was a sports commentator. He's been on LATV, My Health Agenda, and he has his own podcast as well. We have Erick Velasco in the house today.
Hey.
What's up, Eric? Welcome, bro.
AKA the Homo Homie.
The Homo Homie.
And we'll talk about that a little later.
Okay,
Because you have an interesting story about that, why you chose that name. So.
I do.
But first things first, you're actually an SGV guy, right? You're from El Monte as well?
Hey, puro SGV, eh? Shit.
Although San Gabriel Valley is not what it used to be anymore. But
No, it's not. It's changed
it's
quite
evolved.
a bit. Yeah,
Hey, but the SGV is one of a kind, man. We have 30 minutes north, you have the mountains. Now we're east, you have the desert. Now we're 20 minutes south, you have downtown LA.
yeah.
So you have the beach 30 minutes away. So
30
we're
minutes,
like right in the middle of everything.
Hey, but let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Growing up, obviously SGV, we know what SGV means. But I used to always say I'm from East Los, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody says and shit, right? Like nobody knows SGV.
Nobody knows SGV.
But fucking, if you say East Los, are we really part of East Los?
No, that's LA County.
No, well, we're part
East
of LA
Los?
County.
Oh, yeah, true, you're right.
You're
right.
LA
You're right.
County.
Yeah, exactly. LA County ends in Pomona, actually.
Yeah.
Pomona is
Yeah.
SGV.
Then after that, it goes into the IE for Pomona,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. 'cause
Whoa,
it's
Pomona
like
is
the
SGV, I
cuspids,
think,
right?
no?
No.
Pomona's already IE.
Is it?
Pomona's
Yeah.
IE. Well, there's some. I don't know. It's very interesting because it's funny how everything just breaks off into their own little, areas. But I mean, for the most part, yeah. If every time I mentioned El Monte, because I grew up in El Monte, right,
Yeah.
or El Monte. Let me say it correctly, El Monte. And so whenever I mention that city, nobody ever knows about it. If I say Pasadena, oh, okay, because of Rose Parade.
Yeah,
No.
gotcha. Yeah.
So-
Pasadena, Pomona.
Or the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl.
No, but actually, El Monte is pretty big in the culture in the Hispanic culture.
For the most part, yeah.
The
Yeah,
Chicano
in the
culture.
In the Chicano culture.
In the Chicano, yeah. It was
Because
a movement.
memories of El Monte.
The American Legion, where they used to have the concerts.
That's what they used to have the
Art
concert.
Art LeBeau. Yeah, my dad grew up on all that, so he grew up in El Monte.
Boy, yeah. Wolfman.
Yeah, all those areas. So.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So you're very familiar with the Centro del Monte then. Did you call it the Valley Mall? Or did you call it Centro del Monte?
I was like, what's the Centro del
See,
Monte?
this we're now.
Well, we called it the Valley Mall.
Valley Mall?
Yeah.
I call this my mom when she came here, Centro del Monte. And how did you get there? On the trolleys.
Oh, the trolleys.
Yeah,
Oh,
the trolleys. I don't think they
hated
use the
that.
trolleys
I
anymore. I
hated
don't know.
that trolley car. I had one incident when I was like 7, and because I was going to school.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I've ever like walked to school and walked back from school because my mom, would always pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody almost tried to freaking kidnap me. No joke.
In El Monte?
In El Monte. Some man, a widow, and he's all like, hey, come here. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then my mom always told me to carry a pencil with me in my pocket, right? So I was like, all right, cool. So I had the pencil in my pocket, and the guy was, I'm sitting on the trolley, and the guy's all like, hey, get over here. What's your name? Da-da-da-da-da. I was like, just quiet, callado, bien callado. Don't talk to nobody. Don't look at nobody. Don't do anything. And he got closer and closer to me. And as soon as the door opened, he grabbed me by my arm. And I still have the scar right here where his nail punctured my arm.
Gotcha.
So I got the pencil in it.
You shanked them?
Mm-hmm. And then the person from the trolley let me get off the trolley. And then he ended up closing the doors. And I guess they caught the man or whatever what happened. But I ran home because I was almost already home.
Now, did you walk from that day forward? Did your mom let you walk to school again?
No.
Yeah, that's traumatizing.
That
Man.
was traumatizing for me. I was like, fuck, I was 7 years old. I'm surprised I got away from it. But my parents taught me well.
Yeah.
So, always look around for your surroundings.
But that's crazy, dog, because I don't think we've learned, like, as people. Like, I have teenager kids, right? I have a 13 and a 14.
So do I. I'm a gunkle / guardian.
So you're what? How old is your?
She's gonna be 16 in July.
Okay, so you're in that age
Yeah.
where they want to walk by themselves,
Oh.
right? My daughters are like, Dad, Mom, can we walk to school by ourselves, or with our friends? And I always tell them of stories like this, like maybe that didn't happen to me, but there's people that are out there just trying to hurt you. And like I told my wife, I was like, nope, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. How badly they ask, we're taking them to school. If we're able to, even if we're not, we're gonna take them to school. And I see kids all the time by themselves. And I'm telling my daughters, like little kids, like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, walking to school, 6, 7 o'clock at night coming back from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my daughters, that's how people get kidnapped.
Yep.
That's how kids get kidnapped, and they don't understand the concept.
They don't, but it is hard being a parent, and especially when you're a single parent too. You know, I'm working, I'm doing my thing, I'm trying to put bread on the table and a roof over her head and clothes on her back. And I let her walk home, but I do tell her again the pencil story. Keep a sharp pencil in your pocket or a sharp pen. Algo de en tu bolsa para you can go ahead and do.
And that's how you know you grew up in the hood, right?
Yeah. That's how you know. That's how you know, bro. And pepper spray, whatnot. So I give her the benefit of a doubt, and I know that I'm educating her enough in order for her to defend herself, and just be prepared for the real world. Yeah. I mean, that's what we all do for our kids, Yep. I was always one of those kids that was always at home. My mom didn't really let me go to other people's houses. They have to come to our house. They can't go. You can't go over there. I'm like, okay, Mom, fine. Yeah. But I never had anybody over the house because I didn't want nobody over the house because my house was a mess. And then I had my two little brothers that were just crazy. So I was like, fuck. But I mean, for me to raise her and instill all these, properties and qualities in order for her to succeed in life, I have to let her do things that I'm not comfortable with.
Gotcha.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. We do the same thing right now, and it's tough. And I mean, it's a different community, but still, like, navigating that.
Bro, honestly,
navigating what's okay, what's not, what limits to set parameters, it's hard.
Have you had the sex talk with your kids yet?
I have.
You guys are like,
no.
No, I have.
No.
Well, to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and my wife have discussed it, and we've said we're going to talk to them as they progress in level.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, at this point, obviously, one's going to be a freshman, and the other one's going to be an 8th grader. Duh. I was a 7th grader already, trying to do all kinds of things. So I know what's up. So I can't, like, I tell my, and then one of my daughters, she's getting, her body's developing pretty well into, like, a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, Mija, come here. Let me talk to you. She said something the other day. It tripped me out. It tripped me and my wife out, right? Because she was very emo before. And then she said, all of a sudden, she said, what did she say? Boys, I be pulling them boys. And I was like, hey, come here. What the fuck you mean I be pulling them boys? Dad, all of a sudden, boys like, me están mirando. And I'm like, wow, no shit, I know why, right?
Because you're getting chichona now.
Exactly. And I was like, Mama, let me talk to you, okay? While it's good that you're getting this attention from boys, just understand that there's going to be boys out there that don't care about your feelings. They're going to care about this and that. I just want you to be aware of that so you don't get hurt. So she tries to do good talking to us about like that type of shit. But the full sex talk, no, we haven't.
I kind of went deep in that. So I don't know if it was good or not, but I had to pull her aside one day and just tell her, like, what it was. Because she was around friends who were bisexual. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm all, you know what? It's good that you have a diverse group of friends. I'm grateful for that. You know that I'm gay. But I want to let you know that, like, we're going to sit down and we're going to discuss about sex and what people really intend on doing to you when you're this young. You're very young, you're very pretty. There's going to be boys that are going to want to date you, want to kiss you, want to do other things and make you do things that you don't want to do. Don't let nobody do that. This is your private space right here, your private space right here, your private space right here, and back there también, secure all areas.
Yeah.
And just don't let somebody pressure you into doing something you don't want to do and that you're probably going to regret doing it, because I made my mistakes. But you know what? That's for you to make. I'm not going to be there. You're going to be there, and you're going to be experiencing that. So I would hope that by me talking to you, it instills, what is it called?
Little voice, little conscience.
Little conscience.
Yeah.
To do the right thing, Yeah. And whenever you're ready, just go ahead and do it, but make sure you're protected.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diseases out there, and not just boys too, girls también.
Exactly,
So both sexes or whatever. If you're pansexual, también. Whatever. If you want to do the whole spectrum, okay, fine with me. Pero protect yourself, mija.
Yeah, that's what I told my daughter too. Porque, como tú dices, and I'm gonna throw Spanglish because you could say whatever the fuck you want here, bro. Like
No,
Spanglish,
yeah.
English.
Thank you.
I told my daughter, le dije, because obviously it's more common now than when we grew up.
Right.
Que hay more lesbians, more
Era
gays
más-
in school.
more
on the
mixed.
on the down low, más secreto when we were growing
When
up.
we were
Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was taboo.
Taboo.
Yeah,
For
it
the
was
most
culturally
part,
inappropriate.
for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
So mi hija me dice, tengo amigas que les gustan las mujeres. Hay muchas que les gustan las mujeres y los hombres. Entonces yo le dije a ella, so like, hey, que tú también quieras hacer, like whatever, if you decide you like girls, just remember you gotta get respected.
Yes.
It does, just because I'm telling you that boys are gonna be after you for your body or whatever, doesn't mean that girls are not either. Because there could be disrespect between girl and girl, boy and boy, or girl and a boy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it goes all around. You have to learn to respect yourself. If you don't want, like you said, if you don't want to do something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel pressure just because so and so might be a little popular, or might be this. Because there's a thing at school. I don't know if it happens in your school. I don't know if it happens at your niece's school. F boys. They call themselves the F boys. Fuck boys.
Oh, fuck boys. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like,
wait, what?
and these kids are like
Say the
12.
palabra.
Yeah, sorry, but that's what my daughter calls them. That's what my daughter calls them.
He
F
threw
boys.
me off when he told me this at in junior high, right?
Yeah,
They're using that.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
These boys go around and they call themselves fuck boys.
Mhm.
My daughter says F boys because she can't say fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sure she says it when I'm not around, but I'm like, F boys? And my mom like, who the fuck have these fools fucked? They probably don't even know how to use this shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit probably don't even know how to, like, they probably like pre-ejaculate for just touching somebody.
Just
you know
hand
what I mean?
jobs. That was about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So I'm just like, bro, it blows my mind. I grew up pretty fucked up. I did a bunch of fucked up shit. But I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well,
are
we
these
all
kids
did.
thinking?
I mean, I was the nice innocent one, but I did some dumb shit too. I'm
That's
not
what I'm
I'm not
saying.
innocent tampoco. The ones that are innocent are the ones that are crazy.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of crazy things.
You know what's crazy though? I think since it's more mainstream, another thing we got to teach is being comfortable with sexuality
Yeah.
and not making sex this evil thing. You know what I mean? Kind of instilling that it's okay to have those feelings, but just be careful, like you said, having respect, setting boundaries, and not confusing certain things. But it's definitely not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. A lot of people, we always say, oh, that girl's having sex or whatever. Oh, she's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or that guy, that kid, that boy is having sex or this, it's wrong.
It's sexual empowerment, and then there's a difference between the sexual empowerment and abusing sex.
Exactly.
That's where the abuse leads to rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people start taking advantage of another person's privacy and boundaries. And, I teach that a lot wherever I go, with whoever I am with. My parents always taught me, you have to give respect to get respect, and that's what I've always, lived by their standards. And that's why I'm always comfortable around, my straight people, my heteros. So... yeah, right. The breeders. They look past me being gay. They look at the personality of the person. Soy buena gente. I'm just buena onda. So I'm chill. I'm relaxed. And when it comes down to it, it's about respect.
Yeah.
It's respect.
Yeah.
Something you said, and I've talked about it before. We have to look past putting labels in front of a person.
Mm-hmm.
We say that Mexican person, that black person, that gay person, that trans person. We have to ignore that first letter, and just kind of make it about the person that's there.
But let's be honest, bro. It's kind of hard because it's something that
It's instilled in us with our culture, I guess, with every culture,
with every culture and
society.
just throughout history, bro.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard because it's like all the powerful movements, right? Like the LGBTQ movement or the Chicano movement or the what is it called? I can't remember. I'm having a fucking brain fart. The black movement.
Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
All these movements, right? They kind of die down, or they're kind of always don't become big because of that fact that there's so much behind it that in order for that to happen, like in order for like you said, in order to remove labels, dude, we're talking about hundreds of years.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And it's hard, and it's going
Because
to be
it
a long
evolves,
time till it evolves into something different where we don't look at it as labels.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, for the most part, that like you said, we label everything at first sight, but then afterwards, until we get to know that person, then we know, okay, that's Sisko, and that's
exactly.
Mike, and then this is Eric, and people just look at you for who you are, after they get to know you. But before that, it's like, oh, this is the Homo Homie, or this is you also call me Erika. So it's like
Erika?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My middle name is Abraham. So every time it would show up in school, it would be Erick Velasco, Erika. So it was another form of being fucked up when I was little.
Gotcha.
So I was predestined to be gay, anyways. So yeah, I mean, that's labels. Labels are always going to be there.
Yeah.
They will always be there, and they're helpful. Don't get me wrong; they are very, very helpful. It helps, and people can use them interchangeably. There's a lot of people that will, like what we're doing right now with the pronouns: he, him, her, his, they, them. Demi Lovato is everywhere on that spectrum right now. But like it helps to define who you are, and it makes you a lot stronger, and it makes you know who you are at the end of the day.
Gotcha. Now let me ask you something, okay? You mentioned right now he, who, they.
Yeah,
them.
all those.
Explain that a little bit.
Pronouns. Well, the pronouns, they just recently started popping up, probably about 2, 3, 4 years ago. I mean, they've been around, but people haven't really looked into it until social media hit. Yeah. Social media, I swear to God. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing, yeah. Good thing and bad.
Yeah, so it's like a hand in hand. But it helps to, to educate other people. And if somebody wants to be called by a certain thing, then I'm going to respect that. I'm going to say, all right, cool. They, them, or I'll use their name,
Gotcha.
which is like the they and them. You just use their name. You don't
Gotcha.
call her, you don't call them she, he, him. For me, I'm him, he, his, they, I don't care. You can call me her, a girl, or queen, whatever. So,
Gotcha.
hey, homo. I'm a very chill person because I will tell you that it's okay to call me that.
Gotcha.
Versus somebody else where like, no, you can't call me that. You call me this. Okay,
Gotcha.
I respect that.
And that's you getting some sort of power back from that, using certain words?
Yeah, like I'm reclaiming the word homo.
Gotcha.
That's why they call me the Homo Homie. And that was because I had to figure out radio personality for myself. So, that's where I got that from. Pero, I am homosexual. That's the correct term of who we are, homosexuals.
Gotcha.
So I don't see nothing wrong with it. And then everybody complains about like, oh, no homo. Don't use that word, no homo. What's wrong with it? To me, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care about words. If just don't hurt me, don't hit me, don't do nothing to me.
Gotcha.
What's that saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's respectable. I mean, saying like, because we were having a conversation about that. Obviously, we have our own opinions.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. A lot of throughout time, we have used different types of words to mean something. Like, for example, and I'm gonna say this. Okay, this is Mike. I gotta make it clear because
Your perspective,
Sisko.
your
And it's not my
opinion.
perspective. It's just something that I see that obviously you probably experienced too. We all experienced it. Growing up, if somebody says something like, let's go to the beach. Nah, fool, that's gay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, again, nobody's implying fuck gay people. Oh, I hate gay people. But we have. I mean,
I know what you mean because I grew up around that. That's
exactly.
why.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it's hard because if somebody that's gay hears that, they might get offended, right?
Right.
But
Nowadays.
but what I was telling him is like, I've sometimes se me sale también a mí, ¿me entiendes?
Mm-hmm.
Or like the N word, not ER, but
Right.
GA, right?
GA.
How many of us? I was in the military, so I had black friends. I'm not saying that it's okay for me to say it, but there was times when we'd be chilling, drinking. I've been chilling with them
Se
for a
te
while.
sale.
Se te sale. Like, what's up, my jigga? You know what I'm saying? Because jigga is the correct Jay-Z word, right? That was
Radio version.
That was the radio version. Jigga. So I'm saying like some of these words, I get it. You could tell. I'm pretty sure you could tell when somebody's being
Disrespectful and
to
when
you.
somebody just means it de puro broma.
Put a broma
Yeah.
in a way. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's like you said. It's how comfortable you're with the person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like even among us, like beaner.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
we're all beaners, right? I
Mhm.
could say that because I'm a beaner, but somebody else that's Mexican or Hispanic might say,
We'll
"Yeah,
take it to offense.
me siento ofendido," and I'm just like, well, why? Like,
But you know what it is for me? I think, and I would take offense if I saw two, Caucasian guys,
of course, but
women, whatever, just talking and saying that. I would take offense
well,
to
no
that.
shit, I would too.
But I think it's also just, kind of setting the tone. And I think the climate that we're in right now it's a divisive climate. So that doesn't help it at all.
Very divisive.
If it was a couple of years ago, things were looking better and it wasn't as offensive to say certain things.
Actually, no. A couple years ago, we had Tromper.
No, but before what I mean is before.
He fucking brought out the hating people. It was
Well,
like, fuck that.
that's what I'm saying. Before trompas,
Yeah.
for real. Before trompas, like the climate was looking better. That's what I was trying to say. When Trump came in, obviously that's what I mean by times got divisive, and you started seeing hate everywhere. And I think that's why it's hard, and you have to navigate the way you say things, because if they get offended by certain things that we say or how we act, or just for being Mexican or being, LGBTQ, they get offended for that reason. Why shouldn't we be able to get offended or take certain things a certain way as well?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it will, in each era, the race or things like that always come up in spurts, Yeah. Before that, you said before the Trump era, it was pretty calm. It was for a certain extent. And then again, you had the gay movement, which was still coming about. And then that's how we got our Pride Month finally, which is next month in June. And then we also have before that, in like the 80s, I believe it was the interracial couples, black and white, trying to get married. Yeah. That was another big problem as well. So
there's always something, right?
There's always something to nitpick about. But I guess nowadays, again, due in part to social media, is that we have the power to at least change everything or make adjustments here and there. And there's not one place that you can't look up something and get knowledge from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The world is at our fingertips.
It is literally at our hands.
But misinformation is on their fingertips as well.
That too.
Because like Wikipedia, I'm not gonna lie. I used to fucking
wiki.
Yeah.
You used to add entries?
Huh?
You used to add entries to Wikipedia?
No. Fucking half my papers in college, they're all from Wikipedia.
We didn't do that. Shoot, we would
exactly,
do the same
right?
thing, yeah.
So. But Wikipedia, anybody could go on there and fucking write whatever.
It was even harder back in the day because dial-up was a bitch.
Yeah.
You got to go to Ask Jeeves.
So, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of misinformation. So, social media, like you said, is good and bad. It's like, fuck.
It is.
What is true?
But you got to make sure that you're looking up the right, information for what it's worth, credited information, you know, where they have the cited sources and everything that we learned when we were supposed to be going through school. But cite your sources. Where's the accreditation from? Where did you get it from? And if it's from somebody who's unknown and there's no source cited, then that's
cool.
That's not right.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of people ain't doing that anymore. They just go to their, their Instagram, their Facebook, or Twitter and get that information. Like, oh,
no,
did you see that? Well, mainstream media too, as well.
You could hit me up. I'll write your paper for $25. You can get that shit on Fiverr. You know what I'm saying?
Have someone write it.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody write it for you. So I don't write papers. I was fucking around.
So
I thought about it. That's a way to make money, but. I don't write papers.
I was at work the other. I'm a server / what do you call it? Supervisor. I do everything at a restaurant. So I've been at the restaurant for 20 years. That's my main job, bread and butter. And I had some lady call me the other day, and she's like, "Hi, I want to do a reservation for 70 to 100 people, and it's gonna be in September. I'm just calling early just to find out some information." I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "I need a banquet catering menu. Can you send that to me through the mail?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Ma'am, we do have our website, which is OSF." "Oh, I don't know how to use the computer. I'm 7 years old." I was like, "Well, I can teach you. Do you have your phone?" She's like, "Yes." "You can put me on speaker." She's all, "How do I do that?" I was like, "Okay, never mind." So then she actually got her niece, and I was telling her niece, like, "Oh, if you direct her to our website and then type in banquet, our banquet menu will pop up, and there will be the items for her to choose, so that way she can at least have an inkling of what she wants for her, when the day comes for her banquet and her guests." And the ladies are like, "Oh, thank you so much for helping my niece out. Thank you for helping me. I never had this technology stuff. I had typewriters. I had a paper, and I had a pencil. That's all." I was like, okay.
But you know what the fucked up thing is? It goes back to culture, right? It goes back to not learning. they're stuck in their old ways.
Yeah.
Not even that,
And
but
they
that's
don't
going to
wanna
be
learn.
us at some point too. That we're not going to be able to learn, or we're not going to be able to keep up with.
I don't think we're
technology.
not. It's not that you don't want to keep up, bro. I think it's you wanting to adapt or not.
Yeah. Exactly.
all about adaptation.
Exactly.
But
That's right on the money.
but in a sense, we adapt when we have to, when we need to adapt.
When we need to adapt.
So
yeah.
you get to a certain age, you're not working, you're not, you're retired. There's no need for us to like keep advancing with technology. Like, imagine a 7-year-old right now trying to adapt to Zoom when they don't need to. Like, it's tough.
True. No,
It's
that's
tough.
true. What are they going to use it for?
My mom's been here for 39 years. She doesn't know how to drive.
Yeah,
So
I believe it.
isn't that adaptation? Like, you're gonna need a car someday.
But that's also kind of a cultural thing too.
Yeah,
a
that is.
Mexican-
My abuela never drove. My grandpa did in his little hoopty, but she never used to drive. We all drove her. So
Some of my aunts still don't drive either,
That's crazy.
and they get like driven around by their sons when they come from Mexico here. My grandma
crazy,
never
dog.
drove, so
I wonder if it's like a Mexican thing because that's
right.
It's usually
yeah.
It's usually all the people from Mexico that come over don't drive. Well, the females don't,
Nah.
and then the males do.
It is because I was talking to my wife, and she's from Michoacan. We're from Michoacan,
Okay.
and she was born in Michoacan, and she was talking about how they went to Mexico last year to visit, and her sister and her went, and her sister's in her mid-20s, and they were surprised. Her tías and primas, they were like, "¿Tú manejas?
they were in shock.
¿Tú vives sola en un apartamento?" Like even that, it was like, what the fuck? Like they were tripping out that she lived on her own.
That's a
And
cultural thing.
that goes to show you that machismo still exists.
Yep.
I guess toxic.
Well, is it machismo?
Toxic masculinity for the most part. It's not so toxic, but it's just the masculinity of the country itself.
The
Of
norms
how
that they set, the
of
precedent.
how dominated it is by men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I told her that. I said, well, some countries are more. That's the way that they've done it forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, we've been talking a lot, which is cool. But I want to get you to tell us more about yourself because we've been talking about the hood. And
We've been all
growing
over.
up.
Yeah,
But I want
you see,
to.
once I start talking, I go
No.
everywhere. Yeah.
We're good. We can keep going. But I don't want you to feel like we don't want to know about you and the Homo
not
Homie
at all.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that the Homo Homie, it's a label that you gave yourself.
Correct.
And we want to know about that. Why? How did that come about? What is the Homo Homie Podcast about? I know there's certain issues that you want to bring out.
Let's go into detail here. Órale, pues.
We wanna give you the opportunity.
I'll give you what you brought me here to do. Pero no, de veras, like the Homo Homie came about from being on the radio. Like I said earlier, my name is Erick Abraham Velasco, and there was already another guy named Erick V. He was a DJ, a disc jockey on Power 106 back in the day. And
Eric Vision, right?
I
Is
believe
it
so.
Eric?
Yeah, I believe it was Erick Vision. Yeah. And so I didn't want to taint that name because it was already a well-known name within the West Coast radio airwaves. And so at that time, I was working with my homegirl Roxy from Latino 96.3, and I was her assistant, personal assistant / friend. And we had moved to another radio station, and she was telling me, she's like, okay, we're gonna do a whole new show, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and we need somebody who's gonna do sports and news. I was like, okay. She's like, can you find somebody? I was like, all right, I'll try to find somebody. I couldn't find anybody. I was like, fuck. And then so she's all like, well, I can't find nobody either. Nobody wants to do it. So it's just gonna be her and her co-host, Nachin. And she's all, you know what? Fuck it, Erika. Go ahead. You're gonna do the sports and the news. I'm all, bitch, I don't even know nothing about sports. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, all I know is about men in tights and balls and bats. That's about it. She's all like, I like looking at it, but I don't understand it. And she's all like, well, just figure it out, fool. Like, there's Google. Go do Google. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. So for fucking sure enough, I was like, what am I gonna do? And how am I gonna present myself? So, and then again, Erick V came to mind. I was like, I can't use that name. So, well, I'm gay. They call me Erika. I'm going to do sports. So, gay. Homo. Okay, I can use homo. Let's try homo. And then I look like a cholo. So, if I don't talk, so then I'm pelon, so I'm a homie. So, I'm everybody's friend anyways. So, Homo Homie. That's how I got that part. And then it turned out to be Erika, the sports homo homie on Éxitos 93.9 FM radio. And that's how I did my first sports segment. It was so interesting. And I loved
How
it.
did that go?
It was
What did you fucking do you remember what you said
The
about
first
sports?
reaction, yeah.
It was just like, hey guys, this is Erika, the sports homo homie from Éxitos 93.9 here with your sports news. And what was it? I'm right here right now in Pasadena celebrating Super Bowl 46. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like that. I was in Pasadena interviewing people and trying to it was the Ravens versus 49ers. It was that year. And I was pissed off because 49ers fucking lost.
I'm a 49er
I'm a
fan.
49er fan. And I was just like, oh, because all the boys that I would hang out with, the street guys, they're like my big brothers, and they would treat me like little sister. So they got me used to 49ers, so I was a big old 49ers fan. And I was there that day, and fucking they were all pissed.
I was at the
Is
game.
that the New Orleans game?
I was in New Orleans.
Really?
I was inside I was at the game.
Oh shit! Well, I was at Ixtapa, Pasadena, so I was just.
Yeah, that's the spot though. That's the spot. Yeah,
It is.
love it there.
And so that day forward, it was fun. It made it fun. It made it interesting. And I found out a couple of weeks later that there was nobody doing sports radio who was gay in English and Spanish. And I was the very first one to at least break that barrier. I was like,
That's nice.
oh, okay. So, hey, there's a first for everything.
Nice.
What was that like? Did you receive any backlash for using the certain names or certain?
Yes and no. From my own community, they're like, well, why are you saying homo? Why are you calling yourself a homo? I'm like, well, because I am. I'm a homosexual. What's wrong with that? Well, don't you know that it's derogatory to use the word homo and this and this? I'm like, no, it's not. It depends how you use it and the inflection that you're trying to make. But for the most part, the way I use it is in a positive connotation, you know, like. And then when I'm around my homies or my homegirls or whatever, the straight people, I make it a point to make it a positive note, not something negative. So they respect me for that. Why? Because I give respect to get respect.
Gotcha.
And you're embracing it too at the same time.
And I embrace it. So it's basically turning that word into something positive rather than negative that society has deemed it to be. Because it really is not negative if you make it negative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Did you lose friendships because of that?
no.
So they understood and they said, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're right behind you.
I mean, we could what is it? We could agree to disagree.
Okay.
You know, that's how we feel.
As it should be, everybody,
at the end
right?
of the day, yeah. But I still respect you, and I still love you, and I still care for you. But some things you're not going to agree with me, and some things I'm not going to agree with you. But I still care for you.
It's like any relationship. I mean, me and this guy, we agree on a lot of things, but we disagree on a lot of things as well. And it's like, you know, he's okay to feel that way, and I'm okay to feel the certain way I feel.
But that's the beauty about relationships, and that's the beauty about making those connections, you know? So, and it helps. It's just, it's natural feelings, and it builds those relationships.
Yep.
And then throughout a period of time, it helps you actually understand why that person thinks the way they do, and why they think the way they do as well.
Exactly.
So just, okay, it'll give you a little understanding at the end of the day when you do your research. But yeah, so after the sports radio, we were on there for a year, and then we left. And then somebody hit me up a couple of years later, a nightclub promoter or owner, and he's all, "Hey, mijo," because I've been going to the club for years, Chico and Montebello. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
Never.
No.
Yeah, there we go. So I've been going there for years, and he's like, "Hey, mijo, I wanna hit you up." I'm like, "Okay, I want to do a podcast. I want to start podcasting." I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Have you ever thought about it?" I'm like, "No, I never really thought about it. I mean, my Roxy did a podcast with Amber Rose, but it was so much work that I couldn't do it." He's all like, "Well, I have somebody who's going to edit for you, who's going to do the sound, who's going to do everything. All you got to do is just show up and talk."
Damn, I wish we could do that.
Okay.
Well, we do have our
trust
side
me,
guys.
in the beginning, that was so good for me, you know? So then we did it. And he's all like, "You have a strong name, the Homo Homie. It works. You're on your social media, and you're very consistent on everything." So I have it through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. So I made it a point to keep my name consistent. And he's all like, "We're going to create the Homo Homie Podcast, and we're just going to talk about whatever you want, but particularly pertaining to the Latinx community, the gay Latinx community, and you know, showing our side, our stories, telling about who we are, you know, like our struggles." I'm like, "For sure, but we can't limit out other people's struggles, transgender, even the white community. We got to bring them in too, and we got to get their perspective, and we have to teach them. And our straight community, we have to bridge gaps and create allies. That was my most important thing, is creating allyship. I was set to be on this earth for a reason, and I know my purpose and my journey. If I don't leave this world without creating unity, I have not done my job. That's it.
That's one of the reasons why we wanted to bring you on, actually, because your message, bridging the gap, educating people, and I think that's important, especially right now.
Yeah.
There's so many things, like I said earlier, it's so divisive right now that people aren't having conversations. So we're not getting that perspective. And I've listened to your podcast, and one thing I like about it is that, you know, you're set yourself up like a human, like a person. You talk about your parents. You know, I related. I lost my father as well. So it's just relatable, and you forget about all that, and you just see the person, Erick. You know, I'm just listening to Erick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, we all relate at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Through our experiences, through our culture.
Yep.
You know, and that's what helps us at least understand each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
Most
Cool.
definitely.
Yeah.
So you've also been on LATV as well with My Health Agenda.
La TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
For a long time, I used to call it La TV.
Right? Remember, it was a Rock Español back in the day. Hey.
Wait, I don't even know which one this is. Where was it at? What channel?
It was like
Oh, it
60,
was like in the hidden ones, like
60 something.
on cable, right?
Yeah, I didn't even
Was
remember.
it on cable or was it on regular TV?
I think it was regular TV, but it was one of those channels like
That was on 62, right? Canal 62.
something like that.
something. Yeah, I think it was. I think originally it was channel 62 before it turned into whatever it is now.
Like
Telemundo?
Buena TV or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's like
Estrella TV
Oh
now.
no, Estrella TV and I think Azteca TV.
Azteca TV,
There you
yeah.
go, yeah.
So what was that
Yeah,
before?
because I used to watch that shit growing up, like you said, growing up in the Hispanic community, bro, or in a Mexican household.
Uh-huh.
We had one TV, right? And we already knew what we were going to watch.
Soccer and lucha libre.
Soccer, lucha libre with my dad. Soccer, lucha libre. And películas en blanco y negro,
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
en español.
Mm-hmm.
And then at nights, it was novelas.
The Pedro Infantes.
Always the fucking novelas.
Novelas.
Always. Shh, cállense, ya empezó la novela.
I'm not going to lie, dog. They're fucking
You
badass.
get caught up into them.
My,
You get,
my favorite novela is Corazón Salvaje.
I don't know.
But the original one, not the second one with Eduardo Yanez.
I don't know.
The first one with Eduardo Capetillo.
Oh my
Eduardo
God, that was
Capetillo.
bad.
Eduardo
No,
Palomo.
yeah, that was back in the day.
People wonder why we're so dramatic, huh?
Exactly.
Remember that? I used to sleep over my grandma's and I would hear that song, Carusel, Carusel.
Oh, bro, that was a dope one.
Carusel.
You never watched Carusel?
Yes.
That's
it
the
was
one with the
just
little kid. You never
so
watched that
annoying.
shit?
De la I think preparatoria or whatever it was. Or preparatoria.
They were little
I
kids,
don't know how
yeah,
they
yeah.
say it in Spanish, but there's-
Preparatoria.
there you go. Because
Yeah.
there's like certain levels in school.
Yeah.
In colegio, I think it's high school or something like that.
Preparatoria is high school.
Preparatoria.
So,
High
one of
Preparatoria
those.
is high
See,
school.
that's how you know what you're pocho because you don't even know shit. So like, fuck, I grew up pocho.
But you speak Spanish,
Sorry.
though, right?
I do. I
Okay.
speak Spanish and Spanglish and pochoness. So it's like it's hard for me to place the masculine and feminine pronouns
Gotcha.
on each end of the word. So I sometimes make up my own word.
Gotcha. No,
But yeah.
you don't realize how pocho you are until you go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even going to TJ, you know how pocho you are. Because I think I speak pretty good Spanish. And
then we get called gringos. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
I've never had that issue.
no, but once you speak, you know
Yeah.
you're not from over there.
No, exactly. They
That's
know
just crazy.
everything by the inflection and the dialect of how you
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
And because I took music for so many years, I had to understand that the sound and how it carries and voices and stuff like that. So I know when somebody's from a different country, Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil,
Gotcha.
like all the emphasis, all the different pronunciations in Spanish. Like, oh, you're from Chihuahua, or no, you're from DF, Chalingo, you know?
Chilango,
Oh,
Simón.
Chilango, there you go, see? But you know, it's crazy how somebody can hear that dialect or that inflection, and then they can pinpoint from where they're at.
Cool.
Including with the Asian culture, I can do that with the Japanese, Chinese. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't we're gonna sound racist and shit. I know Joe Coy does it good. Have you seen Joe Coy?
Oh, I love Joe Coy.
Have you seen it?
Which one?
When he does it-
I haven't seen that one.
When he does his interpretation of all the different cultures, all the different Asian cultures.
Yes.
And he says like Japanese. I speak with a diaphragm. And like, what does it say? The women go hi. And I can attest to that because I was in Japan for 2 years. So it is true. The girls, hi. The peace sign, bro. I got pictures of me like, I'm like, what
Peace
the
signs
fuck?
everywhere.
Yeah, I've never
they
done
do
this
that a
shit.
lot. You know, the Japanese culture has also embraced the Chicano culture, the
Yeah.
lowrider,
It's a
the
big
cholo,
movement right now.
Yeah, huge movement.
Yep.
And I've been seeing that all over social media. And it's funny how I will see it and then there will be a majority of positivity from it because I don't think Mexicans get butthurt as much as other cultures do.
No.
We see it as a sign of, oh, damn, they appreciate us. You know, oh, they're appreciating what, our culture is.
Or la seguimos el rollo. We'll be like, yeah, tronando
It's
sombrero,
something
tronando.
else. But if they do it something else with another culture, it's like, oh, well, they're appropriating. They are making fun of us. It's like,
I think it just depends on what it is, bro. Because like Delinquent Habits, obviously I've said this before. Delinquent Habits is one of my favorite Chicano groups. I don't know if you've ever heard of Delinquent Habits.
Yes, I've heard of Delinquent Habits.
Okay, so they were a rap group, a Chicano rap group. Grew up here. They're from Downey, based area, and they're from LA, East LA. They claim East LA and all that. But they're very big in Europe and they're very big in South America. So they have movements out there that it's like the Chicano. It's kind of like the Japanese.
Yeah,
they todo Chicanoed out, and it's they fucking embrace our culture, and I think it's respected. I don't think the Chicanos from here mind it because
they
they're not
respect
disrespecting it.
Exactly.
It's more of a honor. You know what I'm saying?
An honor and an appreciation.
Because they're embracing it in a sense.
Exactly. And so the first time I ever saw it was in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were like right there live
I
in
was
the
in
action of it.
2003. I was stationed in Japan.
You were mentoring them.
No, check this out.
Hey, you gotta stand like this.
Hey, what up, homie? Hey, what up, dog?
Tilt the head.
Where you from, man? Where you from?
No, check this out. So I'm walking and shit. I was in Hiroshima. I was stationed in Iwakuni, Japan.
Okay.
About 45 minutes from
You were in the
Hiroshima.
military?
I was in the military.
Oh, check you out. Okay.
I did.
Where's your
so-
uniform at?
That shit don't fit me, dog. That shit don't fit me no more, dog.
My dad was in the army, so
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps. My shit don't fit me, dog. You know what I'm saying?
so
Anyways,
you were there.
I was there, and that was about 45 minutes from Hiroshima, where we dropped the bomb, one of the 8 bombs.
Oh shit.
And I was walking to the mall, to the Valley Mall. I was walking to the mall, and I seen this bald dude, fucking with the white shirt, because you could tell Chicano, they do the 3 creases, right?
Right.
3 creases in the front.
And
I'm sorry, 3 in the front and 2 in the front and 3
two
in the back.
Yeah, 2 in the front,
3 in the back. Okay.
Yeah,
This one
yeah.
had creased out, white shirt. He had Dickies creased out, and he had Cortez, and he had a brown bandana in his back pocket. And so I'm walking through the Japanese mall, and I noticed this vato, and I'm like, this was not military because
They don't
we're
dress
not
like that.
allowed to dress like that.
Right.
Like we'll get fucking in trouble. So I'm like, what the fuck? This is a Chicano. Like, oh hell yeah, because I felt a little lonely over there. I wanted to, I like chilling with my people. I wanted to do lowrider shit, and I hit him up. I'm like, hey carnal, what's up, carnal? Like, I tap him, and he turns around for me, and it's a straight Japanese dude.
He goes, "What's up?"
No, he doesn't even speak English. He doesn't even speak English, bro. He goes, right, and I was like,
Oh, shut up. Really?
Konnichiwa.
and I'm like, hey, bro. And I started doing, obviously, the way to communicate. I can't speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And he can't speak Spanish or English. I'm like, I start pointing at his outfit. I'm like, and he goes, oh. And he takes me like that. At first, I'm like, where the fuck is this for taking me? He takes me to a store outside of the mall.
About to get jumped and shit.
No. The dog, it's a Chicano. It was a Chicano store full of like the shirts
And
with
you
the
said
payasos.
it was outside of the mall, right?
Yeah.
It's always like that. Why is all the cholo shit on the outskirts of everything?
Yeah.
Even the Valley Mall doesn't even have that shit sometimes.
No.
I was like, what the fuck? I can't find a fucking,
It's over there by-
Charlie Brown shirt.
It's over there by Omani High School and shit. They have that one store.
It's like in the little shopping markets or what is it called? The swap meets and
Yeah,
shit like that.
Swamis, yeah.
So he takes you to the
So
store.
he takes me, and I was just like, wow, like it blew my mind, bro. And there was like flyers, shitload of flyers of like lowrider shows or underground, venues.
Yeah.
Where they would do like Chicano rap and shit like that. It was all Japanese.
So dope. That is so dope.
Yeah.
China and Asia in general, it has just such a diverse cultural scene, and they take bits and pieces from each culture, and that's what makes it so like it puts me in awe because it's like, wow, they really do appreciate every culture in society
Yeah.
for the most part. So
Except when they stand right behind you. Like
What?
the Chinese. They like to fucking stand right behind you, bro. like the older Chinese culture? Have you ever?
Like, what do you mean? Just in general, when you're just standing somewhere, or like when you're in line?
When you're in line, or when you're standing somewhere, like you could be at a booth, and they'll be like right there, and I'm just like, they're very up close.
They don't want nobody to cut.
Oh, they're very up close. Okay. No. They're
all up in your
they're
personal
all up
space.
in your shit, dog. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Like before COVID, they did this, and then during COVID, they still do this.
Maybe it's a cultural thing.
That's what I said. It's a cultural thing. It's a culture.
Yeah, I've seen the women walk behind the men all the time.
Yeah,
that's one of the cultural norms that I know from
the Asian community.
The Asian community, yeah, that women always have to walk a couple of steps behind the man.
Yeah,
women are still considered lower than men.
Yeah,
so it's hard for that society to thrive. It's crazy how each culture, each society goes to do different, things that we are not accustomed to, or that we have seen before. Like same thing with the Latino culture. The women stays home, they cook, they watch the kids, they don't work, they don't drive.
You know what's a good thing in Japan or in Asia, Asian cultures? Me gordito,
Buddha.
No.
Running for the good luck.
Nah. Good luck, money. It's considered food. Chubby people or fat people are considered wealthy people.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, over here I'm just a fucking gordo. Over there I'm fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Well, most of like China is poor. Like
I know
people are like barely living over there. So
yeah. So that's crazy, though. It's just again goes back to what we were talking before. Everything. It's about culture. It's about like the way people view things. It's like, wow, if they knew I'm not wealthy as fuck, I'm just a fat dude and shit, trying to survive too.
Oh, you just cut this out. I'm good. That's all I eat every day. Shit. So you mentioned about bandanas. Like he had a bandana. I have a bandana right now. But if I pulled out my bandana over there, I'd probably get fucking like jumped or something because she's all blinged out. I love bling. That's my thing.
I saw your hat.
Yeah.
D, the Dodger hat, right?
Yeah, D for Dodgers, D for Dick.
D for Dick? I was going to ask that, but I didn't want to be.
You know what's funny? Ever since this new one came out, people still don't. I guess they haven't got accustomed to yet that it's a Dodger logo, the kind of a new Dodger logo, you would say, for the hats. But yeah, they always, is that D for Dick? No, Dick. It's D for something else.
Do you make those yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds crazy.
I just sit there and at home bedazzle here and there.
Do you sell them or just do them for you?
You know what? I started to, and then it just got too much for me to handle, and it was just so much work, and then I kind of like backed off for a minute.
Gotcha.
And then my financial resources didn't allow me to do it because these shits are expensive. The crystals themselves, Swarovski and Preciosa, they're not cheap. And Swarovski has just announced that they're not selling to the regular people. They have to sell to a certified Swarovski jeweler.
Gotcha. So these are how much would that hat be valued at? With all the stuff.
We're gonna try to steal it.
It's gonna be gone after this interview. Well, I was doing these for about $55.
Really?
Yeah. If you had your own hat, and I crystallized it, 55.
That's not bad.
If you didn't have your own hat, and I had to go buy one because I have to buy wholesale. Retail, regular price. It would be around $85 to $95.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and then the bananas, because they take up a little bit more crystals as well. This would be probably about 40, 45.
That's not bad, bro.
Yeah, it's not bad. Well, it's quality work, and
exactly.
it's
handmade.
It's handmade, and it's the good crystal. It's not the rinky dinky or Michael's craft store, off the shelf crystal.
Gotcha. It's not the.
Yeah.
That white version crystal from Michael's on.
Or Joanne's.
Hey, Kiko. Hey, Sisko. I think you're ready for the No Manches segment?
Well, I think actually before we hit the No Manches, I know he had a couple of things that he wanted to ask us as well.
Well, how do you guys feel? Like, how would you react if one of your kids came out gay? Or trans?
You want to go first?
I'll go last.
Okay. I mean, I want to say, I wouldn't embrace it. I would still love them, support them no matter what. Would it be hard? Yeah, it would be. The reason it would be hard is because I wouldn't know how to navigate.
Right.
Like, I think that's the hardest part for me. Like, kind of learning to navigate, kind of breaking the norms that I know and learning the new things and kind of just being able to help them when they're going through crisis or whatever it is. So I would support them. It would be hard. And
Okay, so the reason I wanted to go last.
Oh, and I would still protect them like crazy, no matter what.
Good.
I
because-
think no matter what, you're gonna protect.
I'm grateful that you said that. You
Yeah,
know, like-
because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm grateful that you said that because it shows that you have an open mind and you're willing to be there for your child no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. I mean, that goes for anything. Straight, LGBTQ. My children were like that. I don't care. You protect your children no matter what. I was raised with that.
Yeah, it's your own flesh and blood.
Exactly. And I'm not typical. I mean, in the house, my mom was the, kind of like the strict one and the powerful one. So I come from that background, and I know that children, you have to protect them no matter what at all costs. So.
Okay.
So I'll beat someone up, yeah.
Mike?
All right. So the reason I wanted to go last is because I've actually had, I guess, some experience with this with one of my own siblings, and it was at a point in time where, like you said, we grew up. I think we're all around the same age, right? We don't like to talk about our age. Yeah.
Oh, I love talking about. I love getting older. Oh my god.
I know.
I'm gonna be 39.
You gonna get wiser?
Yes.
This year?
That's another segment for another day. So yeah, 'cause I have a lot to talk about with that.
Gotcha. You turning 39 this year or
I'm
next
turning
year?
39 this year, August 8th. 8/8/83 was when I was born. Yeah.
Cool.
At 11:11 in the morning.
11.
Tiempo y todo. Okay. So you had an experience with your sibling, right?
Growing up, I grew up. By the way, Sound Guy. We call him Sound Guy.
Sound guy?
He's my brother.
Oh, okay.
He's my youngest brother out of 5 of us. So I'm the oldest of 5. I grew up with 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
And I've always loved my brothers in different ways, right? And growing up, I don't consider myself homophobic because I think I had friends that we kind of knew back in the day that were gay.
But at that time, it was hard for them to come out.
Yeah, did I fuck around sometimes and be like, hey, wait, ¿te gusta la verga that way? Did I say shit like that? Yeah, of course. I mean, I think when you're growing up, you're learning about things. It's all about being educated, right? It's all about learning and shit. So I was never I don't consider myself homophobic, but when it hit with my sister, I think it affected me because I was my only sister, and I found out I was in the military. How old was I? 22, and my sister to me, she looked up to me a lot. So she was, I think, 6 years younger than me. I don't remember how old she is now. At the time, when I left to the military, she was like 7 or 8 years old. And she would write to me. She looked everything that I did, bro, she wanted to fucking do. But we kind of knew that she was not going to be a regular girl. She was going to like either girls or...
She was either a tomboy or something más.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was a tomboy.
Yeah.
She liked to dress like a boy. Puros pantalones quería, no quería dresses. Which I didn't mind. I thought it was just a phase. I didn't care. It didn't really bother me until finally one day I'm browsing through MySpace. I had just moved out with my girlfriend at the time, my wife. I had just moved out with her, and I'm chilling there fucking looking at MySpace, and I see my sister kissing a girl, like pictures of her that they uploaded.
Oh, okay.
And she's kissing a girl, and I just started crying. And I didn't cry because she was gay. I didn't cry. It's not because she came out that she was lesbian. It was more the fact that I only had one sister. And now it was like if I said I didn't have a sister. Plus, I didn't even know how to go about it. I just knew people that were gay.
Can I throw in, did you also think about like, oh my God, my sister's gay. Like now she's not going to be able to get married and have a wedding. And now she's not going to have kids or.
No.
Okay.
No. That part did not.
Because sometimes that'll go through people's heads. And I'm like, no, it can still happen.
No.
Yeah.
That never came up because she was young. She was like 14 or 12. I can't remember. She was in the teenage years. It was more of like, no tengo hermana. And it was like, somos puros hombres. Y yo tenía mi hermanita. I saw her as my hermanita.
Yeah.
And it was like what the fuck? Like, and second, no me dijo a mí directo. Like, I thought we had a great relationship.
A good bond, yeah.
And then after that, I failed her because of my not understanding. I wasn't there for her like I should have been.
Yeah.
So you asked the question. Again, I'm not going to go into detail because it's a long story. I could go through the shit. That was my first experience with a sibling. And I failed my sister. I could recognize that I did. Now, as a grown-ass man, I've apologized to her. I know that she has her reservations towards me. We grew apart. I wish that wouldn't have happened. It is what it is. Obviously, that's part of the consequences of not knowing. But one time she did tell me this. She said, vas a ver. When I had my kids, she said, un día tus hijos van a ser jotitos. Y vas a ver, that was your payback for not appreciating or not being there for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuck with me because in my mind I was like, well, why would she want them to be jotitos? Not that I had a problem. And I was like, you know what? If they are, they are. It's like, just because I didn't know how to love her at that point in time doesn't mean I won't love my kid. And now I have a son. Okay, I have 2 girls, they're teenagers, and I have a son who's 6. He's gonna be 7. And my sister, every time she gets a chance, me lo tira. Tu son va a ser jotito. I said, you know what? I'm gonna love him even more. Because that's my son. Whatever fucking he decides to do, whatever, if he wants to go bisexual, gay,
Lo que sea.
Lo que él quiera hacer, I don't give a fuck as long as I see his smile every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I was like, look, I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you the way I should have, but I'm gonna be there for my kids, no matter what they are. So that's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what they are, what they want to be, what sexuality they pick, bro, they're fucking my kids. I can't.
And you know what? It's a learning process that we all go through. You know, before me, did you guys ever have anybody in your circles, close friends or whatnot, that were gay?
Oh,
that came out,
cool.
yeah. But at the time when we were growing up with them, no.
Yeah.
But later on
I
in
had a
life,
couple friends.
Okay.
I don't want to say their names because I don't want to be disrespectful.
You don't want to out them?
But one of the homies,
Yeah.
he's an instructor, a dance instructor,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
and hopefully we'll have him on the podcast. So I might hit him up.
Yeah.
But
Well, for you, I mean, there's always time to mend that relationship.
Exactly.
I mean, even though you think that it's too late, there is.
It's not.
There's always time to mend the relationship. Just get educated. Just educate yourself more. You know, like have normal conversations. Don't try to make up for something you didn't do in the past.
and I think that's something that we all do sometimes when we don't know or we don't understand or are not educated on the subject. We get defensive, and we start thinking about ourselves, and we don't put that person, like for example, just using it, I'm not sure, but you put your feelings ahead of your sister's.
I did, and again, and it's not that I wanted to hurt her. It's not that I had something against.
You just didn't know. You just didn't understand.
Or bi people. It wasn't that. It was in my, like you said, my feelings were I lost my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I have no sister. I have nothing but brothers. Why? Because she se cortó el pelo pelón. She wanted to be like a dude. And to the point where I asked her one day, like no bullshit, I asked her, I was like, hey, Daisy, do you want to have like a penis too? Like, are you thinking about...
To that extent.
Yeah, to that extent. I said, well, and she was like, nah, I don't want to have, fuck that. Fuck a penis. So I guess her, the way she identified was like, I'm a woman who likes women.
Right,
not a woman who wants to be a male.
Es puro lesbiana.
Sí, puro lesbiana.
Yeah,
Puro lesbiana. So it's just things like that. The question was because I wanted to understand her. Like, are you wanting to be a man or is it just your own? Because, you shaved your head.
Yeah.
And to me, she looks like a cute little boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, even now, no se ve viejita. And like, she's 27, I think, 28. Well, how old is she? 29? 26.
Okay.
Y no se ve,
she's young.
pero se ve como que estuviera en high school.
She's your twin, dude. Like
She looks like me.
they look exactly the same.
She
Yeah.
hates that shit, dog. But she looks like me, dog.
It works. Son gemelos.
She hates that shit.
Why?
She's probably gonna see this. She's like, because of that history where I wasn't there for her.
That relationship is not.
I hope she listens and like just give your brother a chance, dude. That's your familia. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we regret, that we wish we didn't do. But how are we going to learn from them if we didn't make them?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And appreciate the family you have right now.
Yeah. And my family was all about that. I did the same thing when I came out. I thought my family wasn't going to accept me and love me and care for me and whatnot. And I was ready to, I had my bags packed and ready to go. And then when I did come out, they were very supportive. They were questioning, like, why? What did I do wrong? Did I raise you wrong? It was nothing that they did. It was just how I felt and who I was. And, and I myself, from my own fault, is sorry.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Let it out, brother.
I pushed my family away because I didn't want them to see the things that I did on the side, or things that would make them feel ashamed of me or embarrass them. and I should have never done that. And now it's hard to come back into the picture and just be back into their lives. And partially because I'm raising my niece, who is my family. You know, I'm one of 8. I'm the middle, but I'm the oldest. All the older ones are half siblings from same dad, different moms. The younger ones are from, you know, blood related.
Gotcha.
Same dad, same mom. And my niece, who I'm raising, my older brother, half brother, is in jail, you know, for shit that he did.
Yeah.
And I acquired her when she was 5, and she's going to be 16. So I'm doing the best that I can, you know, to help take care of her until she graduates and she starts living her life. And I don't want to see my flesh and blood out in the streets, you know? So hopefully, you know, if anything happens to you, you know, like, God forbid, but, you know, like, your sibling or your sister would step up and help taking care of your kids too, you know?
But I hope so. I mean,
and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if your sister's listening, give them a chance. Give them a chance.
Talk it out, conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cry a little.
we've
Quinceañeras, you know, there's time.
Hey, bro, and I want to say I commend you for taking in your niece, because not everybody could do that. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank you.
That takes a lot of huevos.
Yeah.
And a lot of like commitment. So appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
So,
it turned my life around 360.
That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Parenting completely changes.
Kids bring out the best and the worst in you. For the good part, I mean, it makes you really figure out like how you can handle things as a human being, and what your limits are and what you can and cannot do. You can only do so much. You can only do so much, and then everything else is on their own.
Yeah. No, I when you said that, I just reminded me of my mom. Fucking, she was on the line of shit that she did. And I was like, fuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, our parents gives us tools for what they know, and it's our job to modify those tools to instill to the next generation, and so on and so on.
And that's all we can do as parents is kind of try to instill those morals, those, you know, that way to kind of navigate through things. But at the end of the day, they're going to make their choices, and hopefully they don't have to make the ones we did.
Right? I know. Well, hopefully I was able to at least expand your minds a little bit, and
Almost definitely.
I'm always willing to come back and
Cool.
Yeah, because we haven't even touched on some of the subjects you wanted to get across.
like the trans community, because that's also very important as well. So
I think the reason why we've talked a lot about the way we grew up, and it's easy to get lost in that, and sometimes I know
it's relatable.
Time, and I know time especially with the podcast. You know about the podcast, you have to have a certain amount of time. Otherwise, they cut you or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You have to keep the conversation very interesting, right, brother, over there, Mr. Sound Guy? Yeah. So if you're not engaged in the conversation, then you have to cut it off. But if you are, and it's a good conversation, then keep it going.
Exactly.
Keep it going.
Exactly.
I had segments where it's an hour and a half, 2 hours almost.
Cool.
But they were good.
Yeah. we done the same, but we just try, after a while.
To limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because of that whole, I know, like iTunes gives you a certain amount of time.
Yeah, he's going to be up for 4 hours trying to edit and splice this one, huh?
I do that, actually.
Yeah, I had to learn how to do all that. I was my sound engineer. I was my editor. I was cut and paste. And then my co-host, Jose Resendez, he was the one that did all the captions and the social media, because he's good with that stuff. So I was like, all right.
When are you guys planning to come back with that podcast?
After, when I get my niece a car. So yeah, probably next year, mid-year, because right now it's like I said, kids is not easy.
Yeah.
So all my time is invested in her right now, just to make sure that everything's ready to go and she's ready to graduate. She has 2 more years of high school, and I'm good. But I will come back. I'm trying to come back.
Okay.
Within next year, in the middle of next year, or the beginning.
Gotcha.
If you ever want to come co-host with us, feel free.
Yeah.
Let us know, and you can come, and
We
we'll
could
have
do a
some other
co-host.
guests and just talk,
We
man.
can shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
Exactly.
people.
And,
Exactly.
we're thinking about having our first
Our-
year party,
Oh, nice.
and we're gonna invite all of our previous guests. So being that you're gonna be now a previous guest, you're more than welcome to come. We'll let you know in advance when it's gonna be.
Since you like partying.
Yeah, I love it.
So maybe we'll have some drinks here. Maybe we'll do a live that day.
Yeah, we are
Puro
actually.
SGV in the house, eh?
We've been fortunate that a lot of our guests.
80% is SGV.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I know that foot. I went to high school with him.
So to finish off, let's do our No Manches segment. I don't know if he explained to you what No Manches is.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna bring our No Manches. Who do you want to start off? You want to start with our guest?
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and start.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, you want? Oh, actually, you wanted me to talk about mine? I'm gonna get a little controversial again, dude.
Bring it.
Well,
You go
Well,
first.
my No Manches is gonna be obviously it's gonna be June when we drop this, right? So, the controversial behind the Roe v. Wade situation.
Otra vez esa?
I'm not. No, last time it was Florida. Like Florida, Ron DeSantis canceling books and the "Don't Say Gay" bill that he was trying to push. But yeah, Roe v. Wade. Personally, I'm not gonna get into the whole abortion thing. That's a slippery slope on its own. You know, people have right answers, wrong answers, whatever it is.
Are you talking about Oklahoma? Or?
I'm talking about the abortion, the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So, personally, I feel the Supreme Court should not be in charge of that decision. I think there shouldn't be any bill for that. You know, we talked about this, and we talked about how it's going to lead to certain things and, you know, more women illnesses and deaths and illegal, you know, abortions and things like that. So, definitely that's something that should not be happening. Supreme Court, it's all conservative. It's all, you know, it's all politics. And I hate the way that politics is going because it's all about popular opinion or religion. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be about the law and freedoms and rights. So.
Bro, my lady was telling me something about that. I guess either
Oklahoma's putting in the harshest like laws and bills.
If you have an IUD, you get prosecuted.
Yeah.
Really?
And see, that's the dangerous slippery.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm saying.
slippery
I was telling my
slope.
wife, I was like, that fools are fucking stupid, dog.
That's the slippery slope with having the Supreme Court in charge of that because now there's whispers about them going after same-sex marriage as well. So you start opening the can of worms, guess what's going to happen? They got one thing. What do we say? Cuando le das la mano, agarran la pata.
Sí.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do as well. They're trying to push their agendas.
Again, fool, it goes back to the tromperos.
Well, yeah.
Tromperos opens the. I call them that, Trumpers, right? I live in a city, bro, where it's heavily fucking Trump.
Yeah.
I literally, these motherfuckers are in the corner. And again, you could be a pro-Trumper. I hope you don't get offended. Shit, you might. I have nothing against Republicans. I voted Republican before. But Trump, bro, that was another thing. Anyways, where the fuck was I going? Oh, he threw me off.
Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, Roe versus, so it's just really an IUD, bro.
Yeah, that's going to be next. That's one of the things they're going to push for next.
I just don't get it. It's like, why are you gonna be hindering on women's productive rights? I mean, a woman gave you life at the end of the day. Yeah. Like it's so stupid that men will take initiative because it's predominantly men in that situation that will, you know, suppress a woman for what? A woman is everything. A woman is the one that gave you life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's something we've talked about.
Why put religion into it? That's another fucked up part. Religion, we're supposed to separate church and state. And why do we continue to combine it?
And you can always make an argument and use religion because in the Bible never says anything about abortions. It says a life is not a life until it takes its first breath.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that are contradicting, you know, but yeah, I agree with you. It shouldn't be that way. And unfortunately, our country has voted that way where it's always predominantly older white males that are doing this, that have no idea, that don't relate to everyday people because they're out of tune with who we are, our daily struggles and things like that. So
They're stuck in the past.
Yep.
Well, here's my No Manches. I guess it's controversial. Mine's going to be controversial too. But
Oh, you're going to go there?
no, it's just, bro, every fucking week or every other day, you wake up to a mass shooting.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
like,
my
no
gosh.
Manches. Like, what the fuck? Like the one that happened up in
Buffalo?
Buffalo?
Yeah.
That was what, last week?
Yep.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yep.
Last week.
Bro, San Bernardino.
No shooting?
Down the street from me.
The VA? Yeah.
Nah. On Friday. Well, Thursday or Friday. Yesterday.
Oh, there's another one?
Wasn't it a school?
Yeah, it was a high school. It was
Yeah.
a high school graduation, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There was 24 high school graduation shootings this last week.
Yeah, one of them happened down the street from me. Just on Friday night. One person got killed. I think it was gang related, but still, mass shooting, 10 injured, 1 dead. Like, no mames, you know, like, no manches. Like, this has been going on since we've been little kids. Columbine, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I know what you're going to say, Sisko, you're going to say, because Sisko has his own views. He says automatic weapons shouldn't be allowed. I don't think automatic
I'm saying
weapons.
we shouldn't have military-style weapons.
I don't think the
Tactical
weapons is the
gear,
issue, bro.
tactical gear. We don't need that shit.
I don't think weapons is the issue.
It's not weapons.
That's
but
gonna, yeah, it is very controversial because I don't know. I don't mind about carrying concealed.
I have guns.
You know, it's. And I grew up around it too. My dad had rifles under the bed.
Yeah, I have
you
rifle.
know,
I have
'cause
a
he would
rifle.
Go hunting. He would go shooting.
But that didn't go out fucking killing all our people,
No,
right?
he didn't.
The fuck?
And he was in the military. Go figure. So, I mean, you know, I never knew how to shoot a gun, but I've always wanted to, but they never taught me. So I was always at home with mom, so, playing housewife, you know. But like, it's just interesting, and it makes me think sometimes, like, if social media wasn't around, you know, or if it wasn't around back then, was all those shootings as prevalent as we know now, or is it worse now?
It was. We just didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Because like I went to Cal State Fullerton. Apparently there was a shooting there in the 80s where like a sniper went on the roof and just started shooting people, and I had no idea about it
Look
until
at
I
Waco,
went to
Texas. Look at all those other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were back in the 60s, 50s, 70s.
There's a line. We just don't hear about them. Social.
Huh? But still, bro, it comes down to, it's not about the weapons to me. It's about the individual.
Yeah, but you're giving these
people-
individuals abilities to.
Bro, I could get a knife right now if I'm fucked up in the head
Oh yeah.
and go shank fucking 10 people at the store real quick before I get shot up.
Yeah.
What's faster though? Like an automatic weapon?
But that's not what I'm saying, bro. I think it's
I agree with
if
you.
a person wants to get something done,
Yeah, I agree
they're
with
gonna
you.
fucking do it.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
That's the bottom line.
My only thing is that other states, I've been to other states, you know, Wisconsin's, you know, all those places. You go into a store like Big Five, 10 minutes later, you're out with a freaking rifle, an automatic rifle.
So
No background
that I agree
checks.
with you.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Better, what is it called? Vetting of the weapon system.
So you don't see that here though in California as much.
I get that.
So
It's
I
not a
think-
weapons issue.
yeah.
It's a vetting system.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I generally feel that certain things, like I said, I love guns. I have guns, but I just feel that they shouldn't be easily accessible.
You say that now, but if we get invaded by Russia, you'd be like, "What the fuck? This one shooter ain't gonna fucking defend me."
If Russia, if
that's
Russia
true.
invades us, it's not gonna. You know, it's
It's not gonna matter.
my gun is not gonna.
Your one shooter is not gonna do nothing, but
No,
an automatic
yeah.
weapon is gonna help you a little bit longer.
Yeah, pero again, it just
Yes, that's
you
my
can't
romance.
trust some people with shit like that.
True.
That's
what I'm saying.
That's the
It's-
point.
It's a person thing.
Yeah.
It's not a gun thing. The gun's not gonna fire itself.
Yeah.
It has to do
the
with
person,
mental
it's not-
health. That's another issue.
Oh man, mental health.
Mental health is a big issue that nobody wants to take responsibility for, or nobody really sees. And we talked about
Yeah,
this.
I think we've opened up. I started, you know, going to therapy
Well,
and
did you
things like
hear
that.
about
So.
that lady, the older woman who was shot who had a knife? She was having a mental issue episode, and they ended up going to her house, and the cop was uneducated on mental health, and she wouldn't let the knife go, so he ended up shooting her. And this was like a 78 or 79-year-old grandmother,
Oh my god.
a Hispanic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The white shooter from Buffalo, he had a fucking automatic weapon to his neck or to his face,
And they talked
and
him
they
down.
talked him out
They
of it.
talk, yeah.
So the same thing happened in Compton, or was it Compton or Inglewood, about a week and a half ago. I don't know if you heard of that guy that was crazy in the apartment complex, breaking windows, saying,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill somebody. Had a knife too. Shot him. Killed him. All because, yes, did he come at them? Yeah. But is a knife really, bro? You got 10 fucking police officers. You got tasers. You mean you can't shoot him like you did Miklo and fucking blood in, blood out?
Exactly.
Shoot him in the leg, dog. That
Yeah.
was gonna fall.
Exactly.
Shoot him in the leg. Shoot him in the fucking, in the knee. Shoot him in the shoulder.
That's why there's training. It's called training.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Train,
we've
learn to
had a
train.
police officer here.
I'm
on
all
the
about
show.
Blue Lives Matter, you know. Pero you know, if you can't get your shit together and understand the difference between somebody who's like legit crazy or mentally ill from somebody who's just trying to really harm somebody else, then you have a lot of training to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so
Eric?
you're No Manches.
Oh man, shoot! You guys know I was trying to think of things, but you hit one that I was gonna try. But for my No Manches, it's just like, again, I'm gonna go back to my gay roots, because the transgender community is under attack right now, with being limited of deprived of health health outlets, also with banning transgender kids in playing sports in school.
That's right, I heard about
You know, we don't know much about the trans community, including myself. You know, I'm still learning myself, and I'm still getting to know about my trans siblings, as we call them, because we don't like to say he or she or him, them, it just depending. But medication has made it a point where, you know, it can either strip you of your estrogen or strip you of your testosterone. So we don't know how the body is really, what the body's really going through unless we figure out from those trans people themselves. Like, okay, well, like it doesn't matter if I play with girls and I'm a trans girl, because we both experience the same thing. Like the levels, like she's not stronger than me, I'm not stronger than her. I don't know that yet, but I mean, that's what we need to figure out.
Yeah.
Is how do the hormones play effect into the trans community so that way we can figure out if it affects the regular, the cis women and cis men. So that's kind of my pet peeve. And No Manches. Y también also another No Manches is common courtesy. I work in the restaurant industry, and I've been having pain in the ass customers come through that are Karens. Well, I made a reservation for this, and I made a reservation for that, and how come you don't have this, and how come you don't have that? Well, this room is open. You have a whole bunch of tables over here, but you are telling me that I can only sit over here? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir. I do have limited staff. We are short right now. People don't want to work. No manches on that one también. Pinches huevones. Like, fucking get up and work. You guys, I used to work for less money, and I fucking worked my ass off. Like, it's just, COVID has really changed everything.
People feel entitled now.
Yeah, entitled, lazy, and they just don't want to do shit anymore. It's just like, and they're impatient. So,
hey,
like,
bro, I can't go to work. Fucking gas is $6.55, dog.
Fuck yeah. Well, patience is a virtue, dude. So, like, please have patience for your servers and your waiters, or when you go out to eat, and when you're trying to have a good time with your family, and understand those people, and understand that some businesses are short staffed and they can't handle so much.
Cool.
I'm gonna touch on something you said about the trans, especially because talking about high school sports and things like that. You kind of made me think a little bit. There was this story, I don't know if you heard about the swimmer.
Yes.
So I was always on the fence. I was like, I understand, Went from competing in the college level, from competing with men to competing with women. And I was always on the fence because I felt like women's sports, in a sense, especially college, there's limited scholarships, there's limited things like that. But something you said, obviously, we still don't know the medical or the science behind removing estrogen or, things like that. So that's definitely something that I need to think about and kind of research and kind of before I start going towards a certain way.
Because hormones really do play a factor. Yeah. It's our genetic makeup. It's whether when we're born, we're gonna be female or male. We're all born as females, right? We start off as females.
And the fetus.
And then the vagina grows into a penis if you're gonna be a boy. So, but.
Yeah, I'm fucking.
You're Mike?
Mike is like, what?
I had a vagina before I had a penis.
So you're also a sister.
And that's what you say because I got titties, bro. No, but I would think. I don't know. Again, you're right. It's something that we all need to do as a society.
More research on it. Wow.
But I would think that males' body composition is obviously very different than a woman's body composition.
It is, but strip it of its natural resources or natural.
But can you fully strip it? That's the question.
That's the science.
That's the science, and that's the research that we need to do behind it.
That's a college athlete, so it's a little different. But I think
we all have estrogen in us.
Yeah, technically.
Because there was also controversy between I think it was a UFC fight where a UFC fighter ended up and it was a woman, right? It was a trans woman fighting another woman, right? Yeah. And he beat the hell out, she beat the hell out of her. Yeah. My apologies.
But again, they train a certain way, bro.
They do.
So could she have been training as a male and had the body composition of a male?
Yeah, she did.
No shit.
She did have the body composition, but would steroids? If the cis female, if she would have had steroids or enhancement in testosterone, would it made it a difference against?
They don't allow it though.
Right?
They don't allow
supposedly. Right?
Well, the trans female was probably under a hormone therapy in order for them to become a trans female. So that's the question.
Did that raise the levels, or did that
allowed? Is that not allowed? Is that a factor? We need to do more research on that. And then if that's the case, after that research, and it doesn't really affect as much the physicality of that, then we have to create a separate sports system for that.
Agreed.
For the trans community.
Agreed. Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely something I want to touch on because I heard you talk about it, and kind of made me realize, hey, you're right. We still don't know the science behind it. It's kind of fairly new.
Because I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning. I'm still learning about all of the trans community and the terms and what they go through. Because it ain't easy. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. And so, I want to be an ally. I want to be that support. Because I have a lot of trans friends that are amazing people. Amazing people.
Cool.
Yeah.
So to finish it off, we always do a words of wisdom.
Okay.
So did he explain that to you?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
He sent me all the info.
All right, cool. Kiko loves words of wisdom, okay? And by the way, Sisko, sorry. This is the third. Kiko, because I know.
That's my nickname growing up.
Yeah.
In the hood.
In the hood, yeah. Anyways, words of wisdom. Again, before he says his words of wisdom, if you want to say words of wisdom that you want us to bring out on the Wednesdays, or are we doing Wednesdays or Thursdays? Catch up.
Wednesdays.
I think Wednesdays we're gonna do our catch ups. If you have words of wisdom that you want us to bring out, go ahead and send them to us, because I know this video is going to drop Wednesday. So go ahead. What are your words of wisdom that you live by, that you want your viewers, our viewers, to know? What do you live by?
Well, for me, I mean, you guys know the group War, right?
Mm-hmm. Warrior.
War, yeah. And they have that one song, "Don't let no one get you down." That whole little phrase and that whole motto of "don't let no one get you down" is what I live by. I don't let people affect my space, my personality, my energy. I surround myself with like-minded people who will uplift me. Like, why are you gonna spend time with somebody who's toxic and brings you down all the time? It doesn't help. And you should surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you, uplift you, care for you, love you, and who won't let you get down, who will always be around.
Gotcha.
And that's what I live by. I'm that person. I'm the person who's your friend, who will be there to lift you in your times of sorrow, hurt, pain, whatever you're going through, to get you back up and get you back on your feet. So, don't let no one get you down.
Don't let no one get you down.
It's nice.
Yeah. And it's a song, so
It's very simple.
We never really think about it, how like the songs, how they can kind of.
I'm very chola, huh?
Going to the oldies.
He's bringing back El Monte time.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go, Chicano.
Yeah, sure.
So it's been a pleasure having you.
Yeah.
Been a blessing.
Hopefully we could do this again, because we literally ran out of time.
We took bits and pieces of everything.
Oh yeah,
so
but there's still a lot more to talk, and hopefully you come back, maybe season 2.
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna have a party at the end of the year, so if you're welcome to come, we'll let you know details about that. But season 2, we're gonna come back stronger. We're in the last episodes of our season 1, and we're gonna come back better. Hopefully the TV works. In season 2.
They didn't know that.
So
They
this
didn't.
is your guys' first season?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice. Yeah,
It's
it
been
ain't easy.
tough,
It's
yeah.
a road. It's a road.
Yeah.
I didn't even know when to cut off for my seasons. We just kept going and recording. I was like, oh, now we have to do seasons? Okay.
I think we need that break, just mentally as well, and just our work schedules are crazy as well.
Especially the sound and editor guy. Yeah, I know. I would record in the day and then come home at 12 o'clock at night and then start editing everything until 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be dead tired, and then I'd have to go to work.
And then you said you don't do video right now, huh?
I don't do video.
Wait till you start adding video.
Yeah.
It's not as bad. We'll give you some
videos.
pointers.
It's
We'll
like
give you
fuck.
some pointers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as bad.
But thank you again. Please let our followers know, where can we reach you at?
Everything at the Homo Homie. Again, at the Homo Homie.
That Homo
That's
Homie.
everything. You can find me that way on all social media.
Cool.
And I have everything linked to my account. And you can go to at the Homo Homie Podcast. So to listen to the podcast.
Make sure you follow him. Listen to his podcast.
Yeah.
You do you try to be on there daily, right? And try to do like videos and stuff. I saw I think the last one you had was the Father's Day or
My
Mother's Day.
personal one, yes. I'm always on there for my personal account. For the podcast account, not as much. I mean, I'll use it to promote that, hey, I was on this podcast. And so right now, I guess I put everything on a hold so that way I can make cameos here and there. So that's why I'm guest appearing on podcasts. Getting the word out there.
Thank you again. Really appreciate it. I had a great time. I know we had a great time catching up on Omani.
Yeah.
Because those are memories
of Omani.
Memories of Omani. So thank you, and hopefully we come back in the future, and we wish you well on all your endeavors.
And I hope I hear something better from you with you and your sister in the next year.
Well, we'll see. Hey.
You get that, hermana?
I'm open to dialogue.
Let's go out together. Let's go to Pomona. You're not down.
I got a quick closing statement because on one of your questions for us that you were going to ask us, it really made me think, like really, really think. And it was, what have I done for the community, for the LGBT community?
That's right.
And I started thinking, and I was like, dang. And I was like, man, I haven't done anything for the community. I haven't done anything for that community, for the Mexican community, for the Latinx community. And I know it's something that I've talked about with him now, that I'm trying to use this platform to express how I feel and certain things to get across. And I think it's a start for that. And thank you again for coming on, telling us a little bit about it and kind of helping us, shed some light on that as well.
Yeah, I'm here.
And you've definitely created some allies here, and we hope to have you back again.
Awesome. And that was the goal, and that was the intent, and we did that.
Cool.
We did that.
Well, appreciate you. Anyways, we appreciate you guys too. Wednesdays, remember we drop our podcast, and stay tuned for the weekly catch up. If you want to be a part of that, let us know. We could do live call-ins, or if you want to shoot us a video, we'll put you on the Wednesday. I know I'm doing this shit a lot, so
it's the Red. It's the Red Bull. Gives you wings trying to fly away.
We don't advertise. Red Bull doesn't cover us. So it's this shit right here.
And I like monsters. Okay, so Monster Peach.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. We'll catch you guys later. Right?
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Bye.